Hello, 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 America.
How are you today?
We're the Troubling Questions crew, and we answer your troubling questions.
That's right.
If you have a troubling question that's troubling you,
Mm-hmm.
leave it as a comment
Yeah.
right under this video here, and we'll answer it for you.
That's right.
So speaking of those questions, let's go to the question of the day.
All right.
All right, America. Our first question today comes from Josh Brown.
Hey, Josh.
How you doing, Josh? Thanks for your question.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Josh asks, Troubling Questions crew, was the atomic bomb necessary to win the war in the Pacific against Japan? This is a hot topic, Josh.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Josh. This is the bomb.
Let's get right into it. I think one of the obvious answers to this question is body counts.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those.
How many people would have died if we didn't drop the atomic bomb?
Well, U.S. Secretary of War Henry Stimson estimates that more than 1 million soldiers would have died.
American soldiers
Americans
would have died if we had to invade Japan through a similar fashion as in which we invaded Germany. So,
Yeah. So that's one argument.
yeah. People, however, try and counter that claim and instead say that the U.S. already won the war before we dropped the atomic bombs. And they say through the United States strategic bombing as well as laying of the mines, they said that we effectively cut off Japan, eliminating the ability for them to pose a danger anymore.
But you know what, Josh? America, I'm going to be honest with you. This does not stand up to the Troubling Questions investigation.
No.
What we found is that although these Japanese soldiers may have been cut off from supplies, from air support, they were still more willing to fight than we expected them to be.
I mean, when we attacked Iwo Jima in our island hopping routine to get to the Japan land, Iwo Jima had some of the most intense fighting seen in all of World War II.
Yeah, it was one of the most bloody battles.
And a funny thing about Iwo Jima, Sean, did they have air support?
They did not.
Did the Japanese have food?
They went without it for days.
Did they have any naval support?
None. They were isolated.
And yet they were able to have some of the most bloody fighting of the entire World War II conflict.
That's right. That one battle alone went on for more than a month.
I wonder what would have happened if we invaded the actual land, Japan itself.
Well, what military generals have found is that the closer you got to Japan, the more fierce the Japanese fought.
So that's when they started introducing suicide bombers, kamikazes.
Kamikazes. That was the last resort effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we see is that when we got closer to Japan, when we actually put our men on the ground closer to Japan, they died at a faster rate than at any other port in the war because Japan's motivation to win was so high.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to another talking point, Josh. The Soviet Union. A big motive for the U.S. in ending World War II quickly and very handily in the U.S.'s point of view.
We did this.
Yeah, we did this very well.
Thanks a lot, Europe.
Yeah, was one, not getting the Soviet Union's help. We didn't want the Soviet Union's help. The Cold War had already basically begun with the end of World War II in Europe.
Yeah.
Tensions were already rising between the U.S. and Stalin.
The Soviet Union and U.S. were already grabbing German missile scientists to help them develop their own domestic missile programs. And the same thing would have happened in Japan if we got the Soviet Union involved and gave them basically the right to split up Japan.
So by developing and using the atomic bomb first, we one, ended the war very quickly, saved millions of American lives, and we two, intimidated the Soviet Union going into the Cold War.
Furthermore, we prevented the Soviet Union from gaining more knowledge than what they already had due to them already collecting German scientists. The Japan scientists were the field leaders in biological and chemical warfare at this time. So we would have seen a similar fashion in which German missile scientists were split up between the Soviet Union and America, as would have happened with Japanese scientists in terms of chemical and biological warfare techniques.
And if we didn't develop this weapon first and use it first to defend our nation, the Japanese could have developed it, the Germans could have developed it, the Russians could have developed it, and there's no telling what they could have done with it.
People claim that it was over-aggression that the U.S. was launching such a lethal attack on a nation to attack their citizens. However, the thing is, it was war. Japan attacked us first.
You have to remember, they came at us first.
Yeah. And they were actually planning to increase the amount of U.S. civilian casualties in 1945. In fact, if we didn't drop the atomic bomb, Japan's plan with Unit 731 would have gone into effect. Basically, this unit was specialized in chemical and biological warfare, and their
This is true.
plans were to release high levels of biological and chemical warfare into the American uh, eastern coast. They would have attacked California, they would have attacked other places in the U.S. This unit, Japan itself, killed over 440,000 Chinese while they were practicing these techniques on the Chinese. They had lethal weapons, and they were planning on using it in U.S. continental United States. Furthermore, they were planning a missile launch on the Panama Canal. Japan was trying to target us at home, and we had to respond by getting to them first.
And the Panama Canal, as you know, is critical to United States stability, economically and militarily.
Yeah. I mean, again, the claim that we attacked the civilians doesn't hold up to the record of Japan, in which they targeted civilians of China, they targeted civilians of Russia, they targeted civilians of Korea, and they attacked our own self. They attacked us in Pearl Harbor, and they continued this attack on United States civilians when they did those. I believe they were in Operation Cherry Blossom, where they're sending over balloons filled with gasoline in which to start wildfires throughout California.
Yeah. So as you can see, the Japanese were not going to give up the fight easily.
Yeah.
They needed some convincing from the American point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, the atomic bomb needed to be dropped, Josh.
Yeah.
It needed to be dropped in the war quickly. It needed to be dropped to save American lives.
And to prevent Japan from going through with their plans to hurt us at home. So, I mean, it was a kill or be killed situation for the United States.
Don't forget the impending Cold War.
Yeah.
Which the United States need to have an upper hand.
Mm-hmm. So remember, America.
If a leprechaun attacks you with both hands, don't fight back with one. Get him with both.
And take his gold.